Le Mans is unlike anything. It has a sort of mythical status, really. It's like Woodstock or something. It's sort of this carnival in the middle of nowhere in France, mixed with a sort of extraordinary car race.
It is unique as a 24-hour race with a 90-year history this year on a road-based circuit that's also the fastest circuit in the world. The majority of the circuit is still on public roads. It goes through the pine forest, past bars and cafes. The famous long Mulsanne Straight is actually the M138 from Le Mans to Tours.
Le Mans is real racing. You have multiple classes on the track at the same time. Every 8.5 miles you are having to pass people. And driving in the dark at 200 miles an hour plus, that's something that you just don't get in other motor races.
It's like being a fighter pilot, looking out into this darkness, and you'll be watching the revs are sitting there at 8,100, 8,200, 8,100.
The locals call it Le Semaine Anglaise, the English week. Pretty much every year, 90 to 100,000 Brits make the trek down to the centre of France. It is a very English motor race, and it always has been.
And that really started with Bentley in the 1920s and 30s.
The Bentley Boys lived faster than they drove. I mean, they were remarkable men. Wolf Barnato, playboy. Tim Birkin, crack shot. Tons of guts, Duff. They were of that generation who had lived through the First World War and who really wanted to live life at full throttle. The Bentley pits were done out almost like a nightclub. They had the champagne, the dolly birds. It was done in some considerable style. They lived and drove with immense panache. Le Mans was a challenge because it was the most demanding sporting event for motor cars in the world. WO was gripped by it. I was quite certain this was the best race I had ever seen. One of the most famous pile-ups in motor racing history was in the 1927 Le Mans. Not only did they win it, they won it by a margin of about 200 miles in a write-off. This was sort of publicity dynamite for the Le Mans race. 1928, 1929, records tumble, the track belongs to Bentley. I'm surprised everybody else didn't pack up and go home for 1930. Who could challenge it? But there was a man who could challenge it, this remarkable German driver, and he drove a big white Mercedes and his name was Caracciola. Birkin was a maniac, just always drove hell for leather. He'd make the cars go faster by putting superchargers on them. The pressure was so relenting, and he wore him down, just harried him so much that in the end the Mercedes gave out. The Bentley blower has become a symbol of the mark. It stands for this high-speed, high-thrills type of motor racing at which Birkin excelled. What those men did still reverberates today. The Bentley Boys put the Le Mans race firmly in the public consciousness, and it would be forever one of the great automotive prizes.
There have been a lot of teams that have gone back to Le Mans after long breaks, but Bentley going back was unarguably one of the most popular returns ever. Audi was the team to beat. The last 3 wins were all Audi.
They had a proven package, but the car felt right, the team felt great, and it was a Bentley 1-2 on the grid, so that was perfect.
The cars accelerate across the line for the first time, the prototypes immediately breaking away from the rest of the field. The order is Bentley, Bentley, Audi, Audi.
The number 7 car had as close to a perfect run as I think we'll ever see at Le Mans.
checkered flag is dropped for Bentley's historic win at Le Mans.
I'm just a lad from Yorkshire, and here I am at Le Mans in a Bentley winning the Le Mans race. You can't believe it.
Bentley coming back and winning the race in 2003 was a significant return to motorsport for Bentley, for one of the great British marques. To be a part of seeing history repeat itself was a magnificent experience, and something that I don't think anybody who was there will ever forget.